Konnichiwa, YouTube. This is Metropolitan Stills, and in this video, I'm going to the hidden Japanese gem, the city of Kanazawa, and the nearby Shirakawa-go historic villages. I'll visit the picturesque old towns that have survived natural disasters and wars. I'll take you to the famous castle and the one-of-a-kind samurai village. And finally, I'll warn you about some of the horrible lies that I was told before I came here, because the city of Kanazawa is a beautiful historic town that is not entirely what it appears to be. I hope you like the video. Kanazawa, Japan is on the western coast of the country, next to the Sea of Japan. It's very easy to get to from Tokyo. It's just a 2.5-hour train ride on the Hokuriku Shinkansen, the world-famous bullet train. I want to take a moment here to apologize for my pronunciation of Hokuriku and warn you that in this video I'm going to say a lot of Japanese words incorrectly. I'm sorry ahead of time. Navigating your way out of the Tokyo train station can be a bit overwhelming because a major Japanese train station is the same size as a big city airport in the United States. One thing I want to warn you about is make certain you get on the right train. The Shinkansen is run by a different company from the other local train lines, so you have to enter a separate part of the station. But once you get through those gates, you're on your own. While this may be the size of an airport, it is not run like an airport, and they don't check your ticket to make certain you get on the correct train. When traveling from Osaka to Tokyo, I got on the wrong bullet train and went to Kyoto instead, which is 300 miles from my intended destination. Make certain you get on the correct line once on your platform and be mindful of the time. If your train is scheduled for 8:27, don't get on the 8:25. Your train is not early. Your train is not late. Your Japanese train will be on time. Once you arrive at the Kanazawa train station, you'll be greeted by a massive torii gate made of Japanese Douglas firs. While in Kanazawa, stay just north of the main shopping and business district, which is a perfect location. This area had several beautiful hotels to choose from, dining options, and convenience stores all around. And it was within walking distance of everything I wanted to see. I was a 5-minute walk to the Oyama Shrine and the entrance to the castle and its gardens. It's a 10-minute walk to the Nagamachi Samurai District, 5 minutes to the Omicho Market, the main fish market in town, and 15 to 20-minute walk to the old town, the Higashichaya. However, if you don't want to walk to the old town, there is a bus that can take you. The Oyama Shrine Gate is a combination of Asian and European architecture styles, with the base using Japanese and Chinese influences, while the lighthouse and stained glass at the top show European influences. Up a short set of steps is the Oyama Shrine and Garden. The garden provides not only some wonderful photography opportunities, but it's a perfect place to sit and have a quiet moment of reflection. But don't stay here too long, because in a few minutes, we're about to head to the best park bench in all of Kanazawa. Once you leave the shrine area, you'll cross the castle bridge and come to another garden. This is not the famous garden of Kanazawa, but for my money, this is the best garden I've visited during the entire trip. You used to be able to walk around inside this garden, but unfortunately a recent earthquake had damaged the small bridges. I was told by the staff that I was too heavy to walk on the bridges because I would damage them. Incidentally, I was told the same thing in Pittsburgh. I didn't film it, but there is a series of benches under a tree in the shade with a wonderful view of this entire park. This would be a wonderful place to stop, have a snack, and take everything in. After the lower garden, you eventually enter through the gates of Kanazawa Castle. And here is where I was told my first big lie of this trip. Only after I arrived at Kanazawa Castle did I realize the castle doesn't exist anymore. This huge patch of green lawn is where the castle should be, but there is no castle. There are no castle ruins. All that's left are two big gates and a few gardens. If you do a Google image search for Kanazawa Castle, you'll find all sorts of beautiful pictures of buildings and cherry blossom trees. But those buildings are just the main gates. There is no castle. It was destroyed in a fire or a Godzilla attack. I didn't read the entire plaque. If you're looking for a Japanese castle, the best to visit are Matsumoto or Himeji Castle. I soon left the castle grounds because they were little more than a golf fairway, and I headed to the Kenrokuen Garden, which is, according to plant experts, one of the top 3 Japanese gardens in all of Japan. As the name suggests, this is an urban photography channel. I just do not know how to take a picture of a tree. So I did not do well at this garden. It's very big, it's very beautiful, but I don't know if it was the midday sun, the harsh lighting, but I did not love my footage that I got here. After complaining about a beautiful garden, I found a snack. I also tried a local delicacy, and by that I mean I tried something that locals sell to dumb tourists. Kanazawa is famous for their gold production. In fact, the name of the town roughly translates to Marsh of Gold. Legend has it that the city was founded when a farmer discovered gold while harvesting potatoes. Locals purport that eating gold is good for your health and vitality, but I think eating gold is mostly a good way to charge $9 for an ice cream cone. The Maeda clan, which ruled Kanazawa Castle in its prime, was so wealthy and powerful that they employed a great number of samurai. The samurai homes were built in the Nagamachi area in the early 1600s, close to the castle walls. The samurai homes were often square or rectangular, surrounded by a garden. The boundary wall was made of stone and earthen materials and then topped with tiles. It was here in the samurai district where I was told the second great lie of my trip. This is billed as the largest authentic samurai village in Japan. However, none of this is real. These are all modern recreations of samurai homes built less than 100 years ago. I've been to a Benihana's restaurant in Ohio that was about that old. The original homes were all leveled for farmland when the Shogun era ended and samurai moved on due to a loss of revenue. I did stay in the samurai district until the sun went down to get some blue hour photos of the streets. I didn't film any of it, but here's the images that I got. The next day, it was time to visit the Higashichaya, the old town district known for geishas and tea houses. In the early 1800s, these pleasure houses were officially banned from Kanazawa proper, but they didn't close down, they just moved out of downtown and across the river where the buildings remain largely unchanged today. These houses had a much different construction from the samurai homes of the previous day. These homes were taxed by width and not by square footage, so most homes and businesses were narrow. Unlike the samurai village, these houses were built right up to the roadway. Most structures were two-story buildings, with the top story being used for storage. The first floor would have had a shop in front and a private living space in the back. The most noticeable characteristic of these Japanese old towns is the intricate woodwork that covers the front of the ground floor. This lattice work is known as kaja lattice. It allows for a great deal of privacy because it's tough to see inside when you're standing on the street, but from the inside, it is very easy to see hordes of tourists taking selfies. I was lucky enough to visit many old towns during my time in Japan and South Korea. And of all of the places I visited, even the famous Kyoto, this old town was by far the most authentic, the most photogenic, and the least overrun by tourists. On my next day, I got out of Kanazawa and I took a day trip to the nearby Shirakawa farming village. You can get there by bus, it's a little less than 2 hours, but I hired a driver to take me there, which is just a 1-hour drive. The village farmhouses were built mostly in the Edo period, between 1603 to 1867. The defining characteristic of this village is the thick roofs on the cottages, which is known as gasso style. The sturdy roofs with steep slopes were designed to stand up to large amounts of snowfall, which is common in the region. The roofs are rethatched by locals every 30 years. I didn't have much time to film here, so I immediately headed up the path north of the town to the Shiroyama viewpoint. It's a 15 or 20 minute walk up a mild hill. It was a bit of a problem for me, but I'm a huge wimp, so you'll be okay. There's a gift shop and some epic views of the town below. I would recommend against a wide-angle lens for this view. You'll want a mid-range or a telephoto zoom, as once you get to the top, you're somewhat far from the town. After Shirakawa, my driver took me to Hida Folk Village, which is an open-air museum very close and very similar to Shirakawa. This village is definitely more set up for tourists, families, couples. There are games you can play and photo locations. You can walk inside more of the buildings because there's no actual residents in this village. While it's very scenic and interesting, the staged aspect of this town makes it far less enjoyable than the neighbor Shirakawa. My last stop of the trip is the Omicho Market, back in downtown Kanazawa. This market's approximately 300 years old. Houses about 170 vendors, many of which are fishmongers selling the day's catch from the Sea of Japan. However, the market's not all fish. You can find clothing, flowers, home goods, fruits and vegetables in the market. There's 15 variety of vegetables unique to Kanazawa available at the market, but I didn't try any of them. I was there just for the fish. This platter of tuna nigiri was just $8. In Chicago, I'd pay $30 for this much fish, and it would obviously not be near as fresh or delicious. Beyond the amazingly fresh seafood, this market was a prime location for street photography. There was a fair amount of tourists here, but there was also a huge amount of locals buying lunch, getting groceries, or laughing at tourists who were taking selfies. So that's my video on Kanazawa, Japan. Thank you for watching this much of it. Obviously, this is an incredibly small channel just starting out, so every single view and like absolutely makes my day. So I hope you liked the video. Arigato gozaimasu. Oh my God, I butchered every single Japanese word. I don't even think I said the name of the town properly.